Hey gang, Zippo. We're going to take this old spark plug wrench, ratchet rather, snap-on that I just picked up, and we're going to clean the gears in the selector cog. Now if you listen, hear how it sounds like it's kind of skippy and just yippy skippy and not hitting very well. Okay, well that's what we're going to correct, and we're going to do it quite simply. And I'll show you here on the identical wrench that just has a straight handle what it should sound like. So I'm going to move this up to the speaker. Okay, that's what it should sound like. Nice, crisp, positive engagement. This runs a risk of, if I'm pulling on it, it runs the risk of skipping off a tooth because there's so much dirt and grime in there. So you're just going to take these two screws out right here, and then the faceplate on the opposite side will come off and give us access to the cog and the gears and allow us. Now be really careful. You do not want to lose those tiny screws. So stick them to a magnet, put them somewhere where you know they're going to stay, which is what I just did right there. Put them on a magnet. Okay, that's out. Now the wrench lifted up a little bit because the faceplate, let's go ahead and pop it out of the vise and I'll turn it over for you. What you're doing is you're taking the screws out where those two holes are, and that allows this faceplate and the main sprocket to come off. Just lift up and out. There you go. Okay, and it's got a lot of dirt in it. I mean, it's a wreck. It's a train wreck. I see one piece of metal. Okay, you see that right there. I believe that is one tooth on this sprocket. I just saw it. Yeah. Got one tooth. You can see it looks kind of different right there. I think that's where that chip came from. Nope. It's right here. Here is a low gear. So I'm going to order a new kit for this. And the kit that will come to you, this comes off for cleaning. The kit, now this one will work. This one will work just fine. It'll be okay. But the new kits, they're not much, 10-15 bucks for a new kit. And when you get that new kit, you'll replace this, your bearing. There's a ball bearing done in there so that when you rotate it, that keeps it positively locked. Okay. And now the other screw fell out. If you look in the very center of the selector gear, you see a little divot right there. Well, that's the entire arm for your direction changing. And when you get the new kit, you'll get the arm, you get the bearing, the spring, that gear selector, but there'll be no hole in the center of it like there is on this one. That's because after you get it and put it together, you have to peen that. You're spreading the material, spreading this material out in the center of your gear selector so that it stays put. And I just noticed another somebody really wrenched on this hard. I don't know if you can see that. There's another tip to the sprocket, one of the sprocket gears. But I'll clean it up and we'll see how it sounds, if it sounds like it's locking more positively. But the new kits, you see how coarse the ratchets are on this. The new kits, this will be doubled. You'll have twice the number of clicks per revolution as you do with the old style. So for 10-15 bucks, well worth it. Well worth it. So let me clean this stuff up. I'll come back, we'll throw it back together, and we'll check and see if we have improved it at all. Be right back. Time to get your clean on. Love Scotch Brite, especially in this cleaning solution. Get it saturated. Doesn't take much to get stuff all cleaned up. One item down, 3 to go. On here I want to use a nice stiff brush. That's what she said. And of course I'm going to scrape away from me so I don't splatter myself with all that cleaning compound, or cleaning fluid. Clean the face. I suppose I need to have that on since I'm just dipping it into the solution. And last time I dealt with Snap-on on getting replacement parts, see, I said I say all the time. Shouldn't. Hang on. Here's a small flex head, 1/4 inch, with a nice handle on it. And when I got this one, it was the same story. Just really dirty. Took it apart, cleaned it up, and sounds great, right? Well, the original one was in such bad shape that I ordered a new kit, and it literally doubled the number of ratchets that I got. So I may just go ahead and order 2 kits. That way I'll have one good backup on the straight arm flexible wrench socket or ratchet that I take out, and then I'll have 2 new ones with tighter quarters turning. Now let's take a good look at this and see if we can. Okay, see that one right there, the top edge is missing on that one. That's one. There's 2. That should be all, because that was all the blades I found in there, all the bits that I found. This one here is kind of low. Yeah, this one's just about reached the end of its life, so we're going to replace it, but in the meantime we'll stick it back in there. And the locking ball, is it moving? Yep, moving balls, or locking ball's moving good, but it'll work till I get the new kits in. Now we got to clean this bad boy right here, get all that crap out of there. And I thought I brought over a, but I must not have brought over a, so hang on again. I'm back. I made that scratch all using my lathe and an Allen wrench. It's not the only one I made. There's another one I made out of brass and an Allen wrench. Anyway, I guess I could have just reached over to the lathe instead of running across the shop to get this one. Huh, dummy. Let's dip it. Dump it. I'm just going to scrape all of the edges here to loosen up as much as I can. Now I can't take that out right now because if I do, I risk not being able to peen it again, putting it back in, and I also risk damaging the old one. So yeah, there's quite a bit of junk in there. It's got some junk in the trunk. Clean it out, clean it out, clean it out. And, oh, there's another piece. Right there on the end of that. And I don't care if this is a longer video. You guys like to sit and listen to me babble anyway, so that's what I'm going to do as I'm cleaning. There's another one right there that came out the back. You guys see that? There. See it? It's just taking the very top edges off of it. And that's what happens when you don't take these things apart and clean them on a regular basis. And as much money as you spend on a tool, don't be a tool. Keep them clean. I take all mine apart maybe twice a year if it's been a really busy year and I'm really going through really using the ratchets up quite a bit. But one thing that's going to help save or increase the longevity of my ratchets is going to be using those impact drivers, because they really have kept me from pulling ratchets out anywhere near as often as I used to. And it's getting pretty clean in there. Looks pretty good. Looking good. Just flip it back over. Yeah. Alright, well, I think we're good here. I'm going to go ahead and dry all this stuff off, and I'll meet you back over there at the workbench. Okay gang, got it all cleaned up and I oiled everything. Now we're back to the assembly stage, and quite simply, take your sprocket, your gear, and literally just set it in there. Just like that. That easy. Take your plate. Now note which side has the wear, which is this side, and which side doesn't. These are blued, so the bluing wears off where the socket rides, but back here, the bluing is still intact. Take your plate, drop your plate into place, make sure it lines up over top of your ratcheting pawl, your direction. Set it down in there, hold everything together, turn it over, and I'm just going to clamp it in the vise so I'm not having to chase anything. Grab your screws, got a 1, got a 2, and I'm going to draw that plate the rest of the way up. Now you noticed everything was a little shiny. I went ahead and oiled things up so that it helped keep those gears lubricated until such a time as I get the new kit in. But there we go, she's all together. Now I'm going to put this up by the speaker so we can listen to the ratchets. If you remember, we had a before sound. Well, now we're going to do the after sound. See how it sounds more positive? Now this one will probably be just fine, but like I said when I was over at the wash tank, I'm going to go ahead and get 2 new kits so that I can replace both of these with the kit that has more hills and valleys on the ratchet than what these do, like I did with this one. Because if you listen, that's 7 turns and then this one's almost hard to count. There's 7 there. So, but anyway, there we go. We've got it. She's all back in shape. We got the head fixed so it stays where we need it to. And I showed you guys in the earlier video putting that long 6-inch extension on. It stays put. So it is ready for another day. And don't forget, if you've got one with a floppy head, just knock that pin out, rotate that, take that piece of sprung steel that's lapped like this with the worn surfaces here and here, and reverse it, put it over this way so that you're on two new surfaces on that spring. You can probably order that spring or take a spring that you've got, cut it, and make it work. But as old as this ratchet is, you know, it's an underlined snap-on, that's probably going to last my lifetime. So there you have it. It's all fixed. This is Zippo. Later. I'm out.